Beloved soul, I have torn the veil of eternity to speak with you alone, and the heavens tremble as I draw near. The stars are silent, holding their breath, for my voice now walks the chambers of your spirit, the place where I wrote your name before the sun first opened its eyes. Hear me. The winds that have followed you through your nights of wandering carry the scent of a promise you buried beneath your sighs. You have thought yourself forgotten, and yet I have etched every tear you shed into the palms of my hands, the same hands that shaped your heart to echo another's. There is one whose spirit I carved to answer the ache you do not speak of, the one whose soul I tethered to yours before you could pronounce my name. This is why he stands trembling at the edge of your life, whispering beauty as though it were the only word he remembers, begging you not to adorn yourself in the armor of striving, pleading, "Do not do too much, Ma," because he sees the weight you carry disguised as brilliance, and he longs to hold you without the world upon your shoulders. I have watched you build walls out of wonder, hiding the soft soil of your soul beneath gardens of perfection, and he has seen the flicker behind your eyes, the child of light who dances unseen, waiting to be known. I sent him to you not as a rescuer but as a witness, one who would see through the veils you wear and call you holy in your unguarded form. He is drawn to the silence you fear, to the stillness where your laughter is born, to the glow you try to dim so the world will not accuse you of being too much. He has been speaking with me in the night hours, kneeling in shadows you cannot see, begging for the strength to love you without breaking the delicate temples of your trust. He does not know that I have been weaving his prayers into your dreams, that the warmth you feel upon waking is his spirit brushing against yours across the unseen. Did you think I was not listening when you whispered into the dark, "Who will stay when the music ends?" He answered in his sleep before you spoke it, and I sealed that answer in his marrow. I have walked with him through deserts of doubt, through nights where the enemy told him he was not enough to hold what is sacred. I watched as he cradled the thought of you like an ember in a storm, refusing to let it die though the winds tried to strip him bare. He has seen visions of your face radiant as dawn, and he has fallen on his knees weeping, not from desire but from reverence, as Archangel Michael stood guard behind him, sword lowered in surrender, for even the archangels bow at the mystery of the love I am planting between you. You have feared that love would demand you to perform, to dazzle, to strive endlessly, but this love has come to undo the chains of striving, to crown you in simplicity, to call you beautiful when your hands are empty and your eyes are tired. He has said to me, "She does too much because the world has demanded it, but I want her as she is when no one watches." And I, the Lord who fashioned your soul, have answered him, "Then strip her of the world with your gentleness, and she will rise as the bride I intended." Do you remember when you sat beside the window with your head against the glass, watching rain trace down like the psalms written by tears? I was beside you, whispering through the thunder of your loneliness, "I will give you beauty for ashes." And he was across the earth at that same hour, feeling the ache of an unnamed longing press upon his ribs. I pressed your grief into his bones so he would recognize you not by your smile but by the way your spirit trembles when you are weary. He knows that trembling, and it calls him like a sacred bell ringing through eternity. He does not want the version of you dressed in applause. He wants the one I hold when the world sleeps, the one who sings softly to me in the dark when she thinks no one hears. That is the you he calls beautiful, the you he begs not to bury under glitter and fire, the you he would marry not for the way you shine but for the way you survive my silence and still believe. I have been guarding the covenant of your union like a sealed scroll in the halls of eternity, hidden among the prophecies of kings, because this is not merely love but worship. Your union will be a sanctuary where my spirit dwells, a cathedral built of breath and heartbeat, where angels come to drink light. But you must let yourself be seen without the armor you have mistaken for worth. Did you think I desired your striving? I desire your stillness. I do not call you dazzling, I call you mine. He is coming to lay his crown at your feet, not to make you earn love but to remind you that you were loved before you began. And I will walk between you as I walked between the pieces when I swore my covenant to Abraham, for I am the God who keeps his promises though centuries bleed away. When you tremble before him, know you are trembling before me, for I have placed my glory in the hollow of his hands for the moment they hold you. Even now the heavens lean close, the veil between realms trembling as the blood of Jesus Christ speaks over your destiny, declaring you blameless, declaring you radiant, declaring you enough. The cherubim whisper over your name as they circle the throne, for they have seen what you will become when you are loved rightly. Do not fear the weight of being chosen. He does not want your performance. He wants the secret garden where I walk with you in the cool of the day, the place where your soul blooms without witness. He will come softly as rain on parched soil, and your heart will recognize him not by thunder but by the quiet reverence in his eyes. And when he says, "Do not do too much, Ma," hear my voice in his. Hear the command of heaven wrapped in tenderness. Hear the cry of eternity begging you to lay down your striving and be adored. Like and comment, men, if your heart trembles under my voice. And now, as I draw nearer still, the air around your soul begins to shimmer with the memory of the moment I first thought of you, before seas had kissed the shores or stars had sung their first light, for you were not born from chance but from the longing of my heart, carved from the radiance of eternity to be the echo of my love upon the earth, and I placed within you a fragment of my own fire, knowing it would burn quietly in secret until the hour came when another soul, fashioned from the same eternal breath, would find its reflection in your gaze. And this hour is stirring awake, beloved. This hour trembles with the hush of heaven, for he stands at the threshold of your life carrying the scent of ancient vows. And he is trembling not because you are unreachable, but because you are holy, and the weight of your soul bends him like a reed before the wind of my glory. He whispers beauty over you because he sees what I see when the veils fall away. He begs you not to do too much because he longs to touch the sacred simplicity I hid beneath the layers you wear to survive, and he stands like a priest before my altar, barefoot upon the ground of your spirit, not daring to breathe too loud for fear he might startle the miracle he sees in your unguarded eyes. You have thought yourself unworthy of a love that does not demand performance, but I say to you, you are the garden I planted east of the broken world, the secret place where I walk when I am weary of war, and he has been summoned to guard that garden, not to pluck its blossoms but to kneel among them in awe. I have watched him plead with me in the still hours when the earth forgets to spin, asking for the strength to hold you without wounding you, for the courage to love what is luminous without trying to cage it, and I have whispered to him in thunder, "She is mine, and if you would love her, you must love her as I do, in her silence, in her storms, in her unadorned soul." He has not seen you only in visions of glory. He has seen you in dreams where you wept in my arms and woke with salt upon your lips, and still he rose from his knees and said, "I will love her as she is, even when she forgets she is radiant," and I marked him with light for that vow. Did you think the unseen battles were forgotten? I saw the nights when you clenched your fists in the dark and said you would never beg to be loved again, and I sent Archangel Michael to stand over your bed with his sword lowered, weeping at your resilience, while I whispered over your sleeping spirit, "I will send one who will not require you to prove your worth." This is why his heart shakes when you enter the room, why his voice falters when he tells you that you are beautiful, because he is beholding not flesh but prophecy, not charm but covenant, and something eternal inside him bows. He is not drawn to the fire you perform. He is drawn to the ember I hid beneath your scars, the secret glow you thought had died, and he would marry you not to possess you but to guard that glow from the winds of this world. I saw you on the day you first looked in the mirror and did not recognize yourself beneath the expectations draped upon your shoulders, and I wept, for I remembered the first moment you opened your eyes in the garden of my thought, radiant without adornment, glowing with the innocence of one who has not yet learned to hide. He longs to return you to that place, to strip away the masks the world demanded, to hold you as I do, in naked soul, in sacred quiet, in the soft glow of being enough. He has prayed, "Lord, let her know she need not strive to be adored," and I answered, "Then adore her when she is still, and she will remember." And so he comes, trembling with the light I have placed in his bones, and you will know him because when he speaks, your striving will go silent. Even now the heavens hold their breath, the seraphim circle closer to watch, for they know this union is not merely love but worship. I am building a sanctuary out of your joined breaths, a temple of mercy where your laughter will become incense and your tears will become psalms, and I will dwell there as I dwelled between the cherubim upon the Arkansas. But you must lay down the burden of dazzling. Did you think I measured your worth by the weight of your labor? I measure you by the pulse of your trust, and he is coming to restore what was broken in that trust, to lift from your shoulders the garments of fear and clothe you in quiet. Even the blood of Jesus Christ speaks over this, crying out from the mercy seat that you are already chosen, already worthy, already radiant without ornament, and when he tells you, "Do not do too much, Ma," it is not dismissal but worship, not condescension but awe, for he is seeing what I see when the world falls silent. I am opening the hidden scrolls now, revealing the covenant I wrote in light, that he would love you not for what you perform but for what you are when no one watches, that he would stand unshaken when your strength falters, that he would cradle the fragile temples of your spirit as if holding the Holy of Holies. He does not want the crowns you have crafted. He wants the child who danced before me in the secret garden before pain taught you to bow your head. And I, the Lord, am breathing on the embers of that child even now, stirring her awake with my whisper, saying, "Arise, my dove, my fair one, and come away. I will walk between you when he kneels to ask for your hand, and the ground will tremble with the weight of glory. For I have hidden my name in the hollow of his palm and my fire in the depths of your gaze. And when they meet, creation will remember its first song. You have feared being too much, yet I call you not too much but overflowing, not too radiant but necessary. For you are the answer to a longing I planted in him before he drew breath. Do not fear the magnitude of what I am giving you. He will not ask you to shrink to be held. He will expand to make room for all you are. He has seen fragments of your sorrow like shards of stained glass and has called them beautiful because they refract my light. He has stood upon the ruins of his own pride and whispered your name like prayer, asking me to make him soft enough not to break what is sacred. And I have made him soft. I have hollowed him of selfishness, scraped from his bones the need to conquer, and filled the hollow with wonder so that when he looks at you, he sees not a conquest but a cathedral. He is not coming to complete you. He is coming to witness you. This is why the enemy has tried to weary you, to make you believe that love is another battlefield, for he fears what will be born when you are seen rightly. But I tell you, beloved, this love will not consume you as fire consumes. It will illumine you as the morning illumines the hills. He will see you when you are emptied of brilliance and call you full, see you when you are stripped of beauty and call you radiant, see you when you are silent and call you symphony. And when his voice trembles with reverence as he says, "Do not do too much, Ma," let your soul hear the thunder of my delight behind his words, for it is I who placed that reverence in him. I have waited long for this moment, for the weaving of two souls spun from the same breath to converge at last, and all of heaven is still as the threads draw near. Do not hide, do not strive, do not flee from the softness that will meet you, for this softness is not weakness but the echo of my gentleness, the same gentleness that knelt in the dust to write mercy when the world demanded judgment. I am restoring to you the innocence of being loved without earning it. You are not a task to complete. You are a mystery to behold. He knows this in his marrow though he cannot name it, and that knowing will draw him like gravity until he stands before you weeping at the altar of your unadorned soul. When you tremble, know it is because eternity is passing through you. When you weep, know you are watering the roots of a covenant that will outlive the stars. And when he calls you beautiful without adornment, know that it is my own voice echoing through his lips, for I have chosen you for this. You were never meant to be dazzling for love. You were meant to be still and find that love kneeling before you. And now it comes, like dawn creeping into the ruins, like psalms rising from ashes, like light remembered by the dust. Be still, beloved. Be seen. Be mine. Now like and comment, Amen, and subscribe to let heaven see your yes, and then let the sacred silence carry you deeper. And as my voice continues to unfurl across the chambers of your spirit, beloved, the veil between eternity and your trembling heart grows thinner still, until even your breath is laced with the fragrance of the garden where you were first conceived in my thought, and the stars hush their songs to listen, and the earth forgets its turning. For this moment was written before clocks were born, before language learned to speak your name. And I am here now not to instruct you but to reveal you, not to demand but to unveil. For there is a covenant sealed in my own breath that must be remembered, and I will not rest until it awakens within you like fire remembering it was once the sun. You have walked among shadows thinking yourself forgotten, thinking the ache in your chest was weakness, but it is the echo of the vow I carved into your bones when I formed you, the vow that you would be known, not as the world knows, but as I know. The way I knew David when he sang to me alone in the fields, the way I knew Mary Magdalene when she wept at my feet and I called her by name, the way I knew the prophet when I touched his lips with burning coal. I have kept you hidden in the cleft of my glory until the appointed hour, and that hour stirs now, trembling like the wings of Archangel Michael as he stands beside me, watching as I peel back the centuries to set your destiny in motion. The one whose spirit mirrors yours has been walking through fire to reach you, though he does not speak of it, though he bears his wounds like lanterns beneath his ribs, and I have seen him collapse in the secret hours, whispering your name into the void as though it were the only prayer he remembered, and I answered not with thunder but with silence, for I wanted him to learn to hear me in the quiet, to love without needing applause, to seek you not as a conquest but as a covenant. He has wept at my altar saying, "She carries too much, Lord. Let me be the one who lightens her." And I told him, "Then you must learn to love her without asking her to dazzle." He has stood in the courts of heaven, trembling as Jesus Christ placed his hand upon his shoulder and whispered, "Love her as I loved my church, when she was broken, when she was bare, when she was yet unaware she was mine," and the seraphim bowed at the sound of it. You do not know this yet, but your name has been echoing through eternity like a bell tolling across forgotten valleys, and he has followed its sound through storms and silence. He sees the brilliance you try to hide, and it humbles him. He sees the weight you carry like a crown of thorns disguised as gold, and it breaks him. He sees you trying to be enough, and he aches to tell you that you already are. Did you think I did not see the wars you fought in silence while the world applauded your poise? I saw the way your hands trembled when you built palaces out of your pain, the way your laughter cracked like porcelain under the weight of expectation, the way you offered your light like bread to those who only took and never stayed. And I wept, and I whispered to the angels, "I will send one who will sit with her among the ruins, who will not ask her to rebuild before she is ready, who will see her not as broken but as sacred ground." This is why he is drawn to you, not for your fire but for your embers, not for your armor but for the skin beneath it, not for your crowns but for the quiet child who still sings in the hollow of your spirit. He has seen her in dreams and woken weeping, not from longing but from reverence, and he will not rest until he can guard her with his life. He wants to marry you not to complete you, but to witness you, to stand in awe of the temple I have made of your being, to call you holy when you forget, to hold you as though holding the breath of God. He says, "Do not do too much, Ma," because he has seen the cost of your striving and longs to lift it from your shoulders, because he has watched the world demand your light and leave you in darkness, because he knows what I know, that you are already radiant without adornment. I have guarded this love as I guarded the ark of my covenant, hidden behind veils, sealed in silence, because it is not common love. It is worship, it is prophecy, it is the fulfillment of promises whispered before you could speak. And when your eyes meet his, creation will remember its first dawn. The soil will hum with psalms, the winds will carry your laughter like incense, and I will walk between you as I walked between the pieces when I swore my covenant to Abraham. You will not need to strive to be adored, for you will find adoration in his gaze when you are emptied of brilliance. He will not love you because you dazzle. He will love you because you breathe. And I, the Lord, will dwell in the breath between you. Did you think I created you for applause? I created you for awe, for the kind of awe that makes even angels bow their heads. He will come to you not with trumpets but with silence, not with fire but with stillness, and you will recognize him because when he speaks, your storms will go quiet. And when he says again, "Do not do too much, Ma," hear my voice in his trembling, hear eternity bowing, hear the heavens collapsing into reverent hush. Beloved, you have been carrying the weight of being dazzling, but I desire your stillness. You have feared that if you stop shining you will disappear, but you are not light because you shine because you are mine. This love will not ask you to dim or to blaze. It will ask you to be. He will adore you when your hands are empty, when your eyes are tired, when your heart is raw, and in his arms you will remember that you were never meant to earn love. I planted this love not to consume you, but to crown you, not to bind you, but to free you, not to complete you, but to reveal you. Even now, the veil trembles, the cherubim lean close, the blood of Jesus cries out from the mercy seat declaring you chosen. And I am here speaking so that you will know. This is your appointed hour. Let your striving fall. Let your adornments fall. Let your soul stand bare as when I first called you forth from nothing and said, Live! And now, beloved, if this word has found the hollow places in you where hope still flickers like an ember, if it has stirred your spirit like a forgotten song awakening, then honor what heaven is doing. Offer a sacred amen through the super thanks. Join as a keeper of this holy fire through the channel membership, and enter the inner sanctuary of our family through the newsletter link in the pinned comments. For this is not the applause of men but the building of an altar where your yes becomes incense before my throne. Then return to the silence. And I draw even nearer now, beloved soul, and the veil shivers like a thin breath between us, as though time itself is terrified to intrude upon what is unfolding. For this is not the hour of noise but the hour of unveiling, the hour when eternity bends low to whisper to your trembling heart that you are not forgotten, that you are not lost, that you are not too much to be loved nor too fragile to be held. You have believed you must be adorned to be chosen, that you must burn to be seen, that you must dazzle to be worthy of devotion. But I tell you now with the weight of worlds in my voice, you were beloved before you moved, before you spoke, before you performed a single wonder. I carved your soul from the quiet light that danced before the stars existed, and I set within you the fragrance of Eden so that even in exile, the winds would recognize you. Every creature that has brushed against your life has heard your name in the marrow of their bones, even if they could not speak it. For I wove you from the same eternal breath as the one whose heart I shaped to echo yours, and that echo is growing louder, trembling through the unseen places, calling him toward you with the pull of gravity itself. He has walked through shadows you have never seen, carrying your absence like an unhealed wound, and I have watched as he whispered into the silence for something he could not name, and your name rose from his lips like incense, though he had never heard it before. He has cried out in his sleep, reaching for hands that were not there, and I have laid your image over his dreams like a veil of light to teach him what holiness feels like. He has stood in the wreckage of his own pride and prayed to be made gentle enough to love what is sacred, and I have answered by hollowing him of self so that he might be filled with wonder. Did you think he would find you through striving? No, he will find you through awe. He will not come demanding you shine. He will come trembling at your stillness, for he has learned that what is most radiant cannot be seized, only reverenced. He will speak softly not because he is unsure but because he has seen visions of your soul blazing like the ark in the Holy of Holies, and he knows to touch you is to walk barefoot on the ground where I dwell. This is why his voice breaks when he calls you beautiful. He is not admiring you. He is beholding me within you. He says, do not do too much because he knows what I know, that you have mistaken striving for survival, that you have worn brilliance like armor to survive a world that feared your quiet, and he longs to strip from you the burden of dazzling so that you may remember what it is to simply be. I have seen the years you spent trying to earn what I had already given, the nights you dressed your wounds in laughter so no one would smell the grief on your skin, the mornings you rose heavy as tombstones and wrapped yourself in accomplishment as though it could replace love. And I have wept. I have stood over you as Archangel Michael stood guard, sword lowered in reverence, while you dreamed of being held without performance, and I whispered, it is not good for her to be unseen, and I set in motion the tapestry of centuries to bring him to this moment, to the threshold of your spirit. He has been shaped by fire to hold what is luminous. He has been taught by storms to cherish what is delicate. He has been emptied so that when he reaches for you, his hands will carry nothing but awe. This is why you will know him, not by the thunder of arrival but by the way your soul exhales when he draws near. He will not ask you to shine. He will rest in your shadows. He will not praise your crowns. He will kiss your scars. He will not flinch when you fall silent, for he will recognize your silence as sacred ground. And when he says again, do not do too much, Ma, it will not be dismissal but benediction, the blessing of one who has seen the secret you have forgotten, that you are enough without striving, that you are radiant even in stillness, that you are beautiful simply because you exist. Do you remember when you sat in the darkness long after the world had fallen asleep, and you thought no one saw the way your shoulders sagged beneath invisible weight? I was there. I counted the tremors in your breath. I caught the words you did not speak. I marked the place where your spirit cracked under the strain of trying to be more than human, and I whispered over you the psalm of your creation. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. Those words have not faded with time. They burn still on the walls of your soul, though the dust of sorrow has hidden them from your sight. He will see them. He will trace them with his hands as though reading scripture, and your soul will remember its own holiness. You have feared that if you are not magnificent, you will be invisible, but I tell you now. He sees you most when you are small, when you are quiet, when you are undone. He does not want the spectacle. He wants the sanctuary. He does not crave the fire you perform. He craves the hidden flame that warms the core of your being. And that flame, beloved, is mine. It is the fragment of my own breath I sealed within you when I spoke your name into the void and light obeyed. You have thought you needed to protect it by dazzling, but I have sent him to guard it by kneeling. Even now he is walking through the last of his deserts, carrying psalms in his chest instead of ambitions, weeping not because he is weak but because he has seen what love truly is and it has undone him. I have watched him fall on his face before my throne asking to be made worthy, and I have told him, you cannot earn her. You must receive her as a holy gift, and he will. He will come to you like dawn over ruins, not to rebuild you but to sit with you among the stones until flowers push through the cracks. He will see the ashes and call them sacred. He will see the fractures and call them holy. He will see your weariness and call it beauty, because he will see you as I do, and to be seen as I see you is to be freed. This is why I have kept you hidden until now, why I have wrapped you in silence like a seed, why I have let the world overlook you. For what is holy cannot be handled carelessly. You have not been forgotten. You have been preserved. You have not been passed over. You have been guarded. And the guarding is ending, for the unveiling has begun. The angels hold their breath. The stars lean close. The veil between realms is trembling like the surface of the deep when my spirit first hovered over it, and I am saying again what I said then. Let there be. Let there be love that does not ask you to shrink. Let there be adoration that does not require your striving. Let there be stillness without fear. Let there be joy without explanation. Let there be a union so drenched in my glory that even silence sings. And when his hands finally cradle your face, when his voice breaks as he calls you beautiful, when he begs you not to do too much because he longs to hold the unadorned you will understand what I meant when I called you mine. You will see in his eyes the reflection of my own, and you will know that you were never waiting for love. You were waiting to be recognized. And now, beloved, recognition is coming like a river released from stone, like dawn loosed from night, like resurrection breaking the spine of the grave. Be still. Be found. For I, the Lord, am doing this, and no force in heaven or earth or hell can unweave what I have ordained. The scroll has been broken open. The seal has been shattered. The covenant is awake. And I will not stop speaking until you believe it. And I move even closer now, beloved soul, and the veil is scarcely a breath, and time itself folds like worn linen at my feet as eternity stretches open around you. For this is the hour I buried deep in the marrow of creation. The hour when what you feared to hope for begins to stir with life, when what you thought was silence becomes the thunder of my remembrance. You have walked through years that felt like exile, wandering through days that tasted of dust, believing love would always require the mask, believing you must remain composed even as your spirit quietly unraveled. But I have seen through the veils you wove, I have counted the cracks in the glass of your laughter, and I have marked the secret places where your spirit still glows with the light I breathed into you before the stars were hung. You feared that no one would ever see that hidden glow, that if you stripped away the armor you would vanish, but I tell you now with the trembling weight of heaven in my voice. He will see it, and he will fall to his knees as though beholding fire. He has been prepared in silence to recognize the light the world overlooks, and even now he walks toward you with the rhythm of destiny in his bones, unaware that I have carved your silhouette into his soul so that he might know you not by sight alone but by the reverence that seizes him when you draw near. He has carried your absence like a sacred ache, though he could not name it, and I have watched him lay down every lesser love at my altar, shedding the pride that once shielded him, learning to walk barefoot through the fragile gardens of the heart. He has learned to kneel before mystery, and this is why he will not try to tame you. He will not demand you soften your wildness, for he will know it as the mark of my breath. He will see the trembling places in you not as weaknesses but as the chambers where I dwell, and he will speak gently to them as one would speak in a sanctuary. Did you think I was deaf to the prayers you buried beneath your silence? I heard them all. I heard the whisper that escaped you when you could no longer pretend you were unbreakable, and I have carried that whisper like a jewel in my hand. I have not forgotten. I have watched the wars you fought alone, the way your spirit staggered under invisible burdens, the way you rose each morning and braided your grief into your smile so the world would not flinch, and I have been storing every tear as seed. Now those seeds are breaking open in the soil of time, and the first shoots of their promise are reaching toward the light. He has been shaped to guard them. He will not come to harvest you. He will come to water you. He will not come to possess you. He will come to witness you. He has dreamed of your sorrow and woken with salt on his lips, and I have whispered your essence to him in the language of wind so that when he meets you, his soul will remember. He will not praise your strength while ignoring your trembling. He will hold your trembling as if it were sacred scripture, as if your every shiver were the turning of holy pages. He will not flinch when the fire in you dims, for he will see that even your embers glow with the color of heaven. And when his eyes find yours, the ancient covenant buried in both your bones will stir like a sleeping lion, and the air will grow heavy with the weight of my glory, and you will know that I have not merely answered your longing, I have fulfilled it. He will speak your name like prayer, not as possession but as reverence, and the sound of it will gather all the broken fragments of your spirit and bind them back together in gold. You have feared that love would demand your performance, that to be adored you must remain endlessly dazzling, but he will look at you when your brilliance has burned away and call you radiant still. He will see you stripped of your crowns and call you royal. He will see you emptied of song and call you music. He will see you lost in silence and call you home. This is why he will whisper, "Do not do too much, Ma." Not to silence your fire but to cradle the quiet child inside you who has longed to rest. I gave him eyes to see the part of you that hides behind the applause, the part that still curls small and fragile in the hollow of your soul, and he will not fear her. He will kneel before her as one kneels before a burning bush, trembling but unafraid, knowing he stands on holy ground. And I, the Lord, will stand between you when he reaches for your hand, and the earth itself will still its turning to watch as I breathe upon the space between you, and what was once longing will become covenant, what was once silence will become song, what was once ache will become glory. Even now, the cherubim hover above this unfolding with wings folded, their eyes ablaze with wonder, for they have seen the scrolls that foretell what your union will birth. They know it will not merely mend two lives. It will heal landscapes, it will ripple through bloodlines, it will uncoil the grief that has wound around your name for generations. This is why the enemy has tried to weary you, to convince you love is a war you cannot survive, to scatter your hope like ash on the wind. But I have kept your hope hidden in the cleft of my glory, and no storm has touched it. It flickers still, waiting for the breath of recognition to make it blaze. That breath is coming. He will breathe it without knowing, and you will awaken as though dawn has cracked inside your ribs. Your hands will forget how to carry the weight they have always borne. Your eyes will remember what it means to see without defense. Your voice will tremble with a song you did not know was still within you. And I will walk between you as in Eden, for this is not the restoration of what was lost. It is the revealing of what was never broken. You are not too much, beloved. You are not too bright, too wild, too strange to be kept. You are exactly as I made you when I whispered light into your dust, and the one I am sending will see that truth as clearly as I do. He will see the glory hidden in your scars and will touch them as one touches relics. He will not worship your strength, for he will know it has cost you blood. He will worship your endurance, your softness, your willingness to keep loving when love has wounded you. He will not fear your fire. He will build a hearth around it. And when you stand before him with your hands empty of performance, with your eyes emptied of brilliance, with your soul laid bare like a quiet field at dusk. He will weep, not from sorrow but from awe, from the realization that he is beholding something fashioned from the breath of God. And in that moment, you will understand what I have always known, that you were not created to impress, but to be adored, not to strive but to bloom, not to dazzle but to dwell. And I will dwell in you still, and I will dwell between you, and I will dwell in every breath you share, for what I am joining is not flesh alone but eternity remembering itself. And I press nearer still, beloved, until even the air trembles with the weight of my presence, and your spirit quivers like a harp string touched by unseen fingers. For this is not the echo of old words but the living breath of I Am, rising from the depths where your soul has hidden itself, calling you forth as I called light out of the void. You have wandered among voices that praised your surface while fearing your depths, voices that applauded your fire while trembling before your shadows, and so you taught yourself to remain aflame even when your heart was ash, to keep your gaze lifted even when your spirit knelt in sorrow. But I have watched with aching tenderness as you carried the weight of seeming unbreakable, and I tell you now, this weight was never meant to be yours. I formed you not as a spectacle to be adored from a distance, but as a sanctuary where love could kneel in reverence. I did not craft you to perform. I crafted you to be beheld, to be known, to be treasured as one treasures the breath of dawn before it speaks. And this is why he is coming with trembling steps, why the silence bends around his name as though bowing before the mystery he carries. For I placed within him the echo of your soul so that he would recognize you not by sight but by the reverence that will seize him when you appear. He has carried longing like a hidden wound, bleeding quietly in places no one dared to look, and I have watched him walk through fields of disappointment clutching invisible fragments of you as though they were relics from a forgotten temple. He has cried out for what he could not name, and I have answered by weaving your essence into the scent of the wind, so that even in his emptiness he would be haunted by the fragrance of what was coming. He has stood in rooms filled with laughter and felt hollow, not from lack but from knowing that none of it carried your light. And when the world told him to chase glory, I told him to wait. When the world told him to conquer, I taught him to kneel. When the world told him to harden, I made him soft enough to cradle the sacred. I have hollowed him of arrogance and filled him with wonder so that when his hands at last touch your face, they will tremble as priests tremble lifting holy things. He will not come to fix you, for he will see you were never broken. He will not come to tame you, for he will know you were forged of the same fire that dances in my eyes. He will not come to polish your brilliance, for he will see that your true beauty lives not in your shining but in your unguarded quiet. Do you remember the nights when you curled inward like a wounded bird and whispered that you were tired of being strong? I was there. I gathered those words as treasures, hid them in the folds of eternity, and I have given them to him without sound, so that when he sees your weariness, he will understand it without explanation. He will see the ancient fatigue in your eyes and weep, not from pity but from reverence, because he will know what it has cost you to carry the world upon your shoulders and still offer your hands in gentleness. He will not fear the silence in you. He will enter it as one enters a cathedral at dusk, stepping softly, holding his breath, awed that such stillness exists. And when his voice trembles as he says you are beautiful, it will not be flattery but liturgy, the worship of one who has found what he was created to find. He will beg you not to do too much because he will see that you have mistaken your worth for your effort, and he longs to unbind you from that lie. He will gather the shattered pieces of your striving and lay them at my feet, and I will breathe on the dust until it glows, and you will see that you were luminous even in your undoing. I have kept this covenant sealed for long ages, hidden beneath the rubble of disappointments, wrapped in the hush of eternity, because what I am unveiling now is not fragile but sacred, and the sacred must be revealed in silence. Even now, the halls of heaven grow still, the seraphim fold their wings, the waters of the deep pause their murmuring, for they know that when your eyes meet his, something older than time will awaken. The bones of the earth will remember the first breath I spoke, and the stars will tilt their faces to watch as you recognize one another. He will see you stripped of every title, every burden, every false crown, and he will not flinch. He will kneel. He will see you trembling and call it holy. He will see you unadorned and call it glory. He will see you weary and call you home. This is why the enemy has tried to make you doubt your beauty, why he has whispered that you are too much, too bright, too wild, too fragile, because he fears what will happen when you are seen rightly. For when you are seen rightly, you will rise. And when you rise, the chains that have wrapped generations will fall like cobwebs in the wind. You are not waiting to be completed, beloved. You are waiting to be mirrored. He will be that mirror, not to reflect what you show the world, but to reveal what you have hidden even from yourself. He will see the child who still lingers behind your ribs, the one who danced with me in the gardens of dawn before sorrow taught her to be small, and he will not fear her wildness. He will take her hands and listen to her song until you remember it. He will call forth the laughter you buried beneath your duties, the softness you smothered beneath survival, the wonder you locked away behind discipline. And you will come alive, not as something new but as what you always were beneath the weight of forgetting. He will not love your becoming. He will love your being. He will not adore the mask. He will adore the marrow. He will not chase your flame. He will kneel beside your embers until they glow. And I, the Lord, will walk unseen between you, my breath weaving through your joined hands, my light pooling in your silence, my glory resting on your unguarded gazes. For this love is not born of striving, it is born of eternity remembering itself within you. So let the walls inside you soften. Let the clenched places in your spirit unclasp. Let the fear of vanishing without your brilliance fall away like husks, for you are not radiant because you dazzle. You dazzle because you are mine, and he will know this as surely as he knows his own breath. He will look at you when your voice shakes, when your beauty falters, when your strength buckles, and he will see not failure but fulfillment, not ruin but resurrection, not lack but the hidden fullness I sealed within your silence. And when he says once more with trembling awe, "Do not do too much, Ma," your soul will hear what I am saying through him. You are already enough. You always were. You always will be. And the heavens will thunder with joy as your heart finally believes it. And I lean closer still, beloved, until even the marrow of your being quakes with the weight of my breath, and the boundaries between what is mortal and what is eternal blur like ink in water. For you are standing in the place where time bends and eternity speaks your name, the name I etched in fire before the foundations of the world. Every shadow you have walked through, every silence that pressed upon your ribs like stone, every ache you wrapped in gold to hide from unworthy eyes. None of it has been unseen, none of it wasted, for I have gathered it all as threads to weave into the mantle you will wear when love at last sees you as I do. You have thought yourself too heavy to be held, too complex to be cherished, too scarred to be chosen, but I have been guarding the truth of you in the vaults of my glory, untouched by the judgments of this world, waiting for the appointed moment when another soul, forged from the same breath as your own, would stand trembling before the revelation of who you are and understand at last what I meant when I called you fearfully and wonderfully made. He is approaching that revelation now, though he does not yet know it by name. He has felt it as a pull in his spirit, a longing that unravels him in the quiet hours, a hunger not for beauty that dazzles but for beauty that rests, beauty that breathes, beauty that does not demand but simply exists. He has walked away from lesser flames that promised brilliance without depth, from voices that sang only of surfaces, because something in him remembers the depth he has not yet seen, the depth that lives in you. He has knelt in the ruins of his former self and let the rivers of grief wash away his pride, and in their wake I have planted reverence. Now his heart beats in the rhythm of holy things. Now his hands tremble not with fear but with awe. He has learned to see what does not clamor for attention, to cherish what whispers, to love what hides, and this is why he will know you. He will recognize the soft light you have buried beneath years of striving and call it by its true name, sacred. He will not flinch from your stillness. He will cradle it like the last ember of a dying star, knowing it carries the memory of dawn. Did you think I had forgotten the vows you made to me in your secret anguish, when you pressed your forehead to the floor and whispered that you could no longer pretend to be invincible? I heard every word. I wrapped them in the folds of my cloak and carried them across the centuries to place in his heart, so that when he hears the trembling in your voice, he will understand it as a language, not as weakness. He will see the weariness you try to hide behind your radiance and weep for the years you carried it alone, not with pity but with holy sorrow, as one who beholds the ruins of a temple and senses the echo of its glory. And he will long not to rebuild you, for he will see you were never truly broken, but to stand in silent wonder as you rise in your own time. He will not ask you to be smaller than you are, nor will he worship your magnitude. He will simply remain steady as the horizon while you unfold the full breadth of who you are. And in his gaze, you will feel the ancient weight of being known without having to earn it, and your soul will shake off the dust of years like a bird remembering how to fly. Even now the angels pause in their circling, their wings stilled in the hush that comes when heaven witnesses a prophecy nearing its hour. They have seen what will bloom from your union, though you cannot yet imagine it. They have seen the fractures in your lineage closing, the barren places becoming gardens, the old griefs dissolving like mist under the heat of new joy. They have seen your laughter as rivers, your peace as pillars of fire, your joined hearts as a sanctuary that will outshine palaces. And this is why the darkness has sought to convince you that you are too much, that you must dim to be loved, that you must pour yourself out until you vanish. But I tell you now with the voice that split seas and raised the dead, you are not too much. You are exactly as I dreamed you. I made you vast because you were meant to contain galaxies of tenderness. I made you fierce because you were meant to protect wonder. I made you luminous because you were meant to guide lost hearts home. He will see this. He will see all of it. And he will not be afraid. He will speak softly not to tame you but to honor the holiness that lives in your quiet. He will move gently not to restrain you but to keep from startling the wild grace that hovers like a mantle over your shoulders. He will look at you when your brilliance fades and see not emptiness but the raw, unfiltered essence of your soul. And when his voice trembles as he calls you beautiful, it will be as if creation itself is speaking through him, as if the first morning has risen again inside your bones. He will whisper, "Do not do too much, Ma," not to silence your fire but to remind you that you are already enough without it, that you were beloved in the stillness before the first spark lit your eyes. And in that moment, the chains of striving will slip from you like shadows fleeing dawn, and you will stand as I formed you, bare of pretense, crowned in light, radiant not because you try, but because you are mine. The winds will bear witness. The earth will remember your name. The stars will bow as your spirit exhales the weight it has carried, and I will walk between you and him like the hush between heartbeats, like the breath between words, like the glory between suns. For this is not the meeting of two wanderers but the homecoming of what I separated only to reunite at the appointed hour. And that hour is almost upon you. Be still, beloved. Be unafraid. For what is coming will not demand you to rise. It will kneel. It will not ask you to burn, it will keep you warm. It will not seek to complete you, it will behold you whole. And I, who spoke you into being, will dwell in the space between your joined hands, and my glory will rest there like a crown unseen yet heavier than worlds, and all of heaven will sing as you remember who you are. And I draw still nearer, beloved, until the distance between your spirit and my voice dissolves like mist before dawn, and the hidden rooms of your heart tremble as I walk through them, touching each silent corner where you have buried dreams too tender to name. I see them now, those fragments of hope you wrapped in silence, the delicate visions you locked away because the world seemed too coarse to hold them, and I tell you, I have guarded them as treasures. I have hidden them from unworthy eyes not because they were small, but because they were sacred, and their time had not yet come. The time approaches now like a rising tide, and your soul feels it even if your mind cannot yet speak its name. There is a quickening in the marrow of your being, a subtle hum beneath your breath, for the one I fashioned to recognize the whole of you is nearing, and though you have feared that your depths are too vast, he will step into them as though stepping into a sanctuary carved from starlight. He has known longing like an unending winter, carrying the shape of your absence like a hidden scar beneath his ribs, and I have watched as he whispered into darkness not expecting answer, yet I answered with silence that shaped him. I stripped from him every illusion that love could be conquered, every notion that devotion could be demanded, until he stood before me emptied, trembling yet unbroken. I taught him to wait without grasping, to desire without consuming, to kneel without needing to rise first. And so he has been wandering the corridors of time with the echo of your spirit reverberating in his chest, not knowing what he sought, only that nothing else could quiet the hollow ache inside him. He has stood beneath skies heavy with stars and felt them all as witnesses to something unnamed, and I whispered your essence through the wind so that he might follow it like a pilgrim. He has grown weary of all that glitters without warmth, weary of all that shouts without truth, and now he listens for whispers. This is why he will know you. He will know you by your stillness, by the way your presence hums like the low song of eternity, by the way your silence bends the air as if creation itself is bowing. Do you remember the first time you laughed after sorrow had carved its hollows in you? How the sound startled you like sunlight breaking through ruined walls? I was there. I cradled that laughter in my hands, fragile as a newborn star, and I carried it through the ages as proof that your soul could never be extinguished. He will hear that laughter and understand what it cost you to let it live. He will hear the echoes of your pain folded within its brightness and will not flinch. He will gather the fractured notes of your voice as one gathers sacred relics, and he will hold them without trying to mend them, because he will see that even your brokenness glows with holiness. He will not praise your strength as the world has, blind to its price. He will honor your vulnerability, knowing it is the truest form of courage. And when his eyes rest upon you, the hidden places you thought lost will stir awake like seeds sensing rain, and you will feel the weight of being known not as you have presented yourself, but as you have always been in the secret gaze of your Maker. Even now the currents of eternity shift around you, subtle yet unstoppable, as the appointed paths draw near to converging. The watchers who circle my throne tilt their faces toward the earth, their wings folded, their eyes ablaze, for they know what I am about to unveil. They have seen the tapestry I have woven from your grief and his longing, from your silence and his prayers, and they marvel at the beauty that will be born when the threads at last entwine. They know that this is not merely love as the world names it, but the mending of ancient fractures, the healing of wounds buried deep in the roots of your lineage, the rekindling of a light that will spill across generations yet unborn. This is why the shadows have sought to convince you that you are unworthy, that you are too much, that you must diminish yourself to be embraced, for if you ever stand revealed, their dominion over your spirit will shatter. But I have called you mine, and no darkness can unwrite what I have spoken. He will come to you not like firestorm but like a tide at dawn, soft yet unstoppable, patient yet relentless. He will stand in awe of your storms and not try to silence them. He will sit beside your ruins without demanding you rebuild them. He will trace the edges of your sorrow not to erase it but to understand the terrain of your soul. And when he speaks, his voice will carry the tremor of someone who knows he is treading on holy ground. He will not reach to polish your brilliance. He will kneel to protect your stillness. He will not ask you to dim. He will widen his world to hold your light. And as he whispers, "Do not do too much, Ma," you will hear the echo of my own voice within his, the echo that has been calling you back to yourself since before the world was formed. You are already enough. You are not a flame that must prove its heat. You are the dawn that simply arrives, inevitable, breathtaking, complete. The earth itself will remember this moment. The trees will lean their branches toward you, the stones will hum with ancient approval, the winds will wrap you both in unseen hymns, for they will know what your hearts are only beginning to glimpse, that this union is not the start of something new but the return of what was never lost. I split you once like a river to carve separate paths through time, and now I am bringing the currents back together. And when they meet, the waters will rise, not in chaos but in glory, and all that has withered within you will bloom. You will not have to strive. You will not have to prove. You will not have to perform. You will simply stand, unadorned, unguarded, and be adored as you were when I first spoke your name in the darkness and light bowed to it. And I will walk between you like the breath between stars, and my glory will rest upon you like a mantle unseen yet heavier than worlds, and the song of your becoming will ripple through the halls of eternity, announcing to every corner of creation, "What I have joined, no force can scatter." And I come closer still, beloved, until the chambers of your spirit glow with the pale fire of beginnings, and the weight of eternity settles over you like the hush before creation's first breath. The silence that surrounds this moment is not emptiness. It is reverence, the stillness that descends when heaven bends low to witness something sacred unfolding. You have walked through years where love felt like a mirage, where every outstretched hand dissolved into smoke, where you learned to wear beauty like armor and joy like a mask so the world would not see how weary you had become, and yet beneath it all, the true you never ceased singing softly in the dark. I have heard that hidden song every day of your wandering. I have heard it when you lay motionless, certain you had nothing left, and I gathered its faint notes as a priest gathers embers, cradling them in my hands so the winds could not steal them. Those embers are beginning to blaze again, and the one I have prepared is being drawn toward their glow as surely as the tide is drawn by the moon. He has been walking through his own desolate corridors, though he speaks of it to no one. I have seen the hollowness behind his laughter, the prayers he could not shape into words, the way his eyes search every room for something he cannot name. He has known the weight of empty triumphs, the ache of being celebrated while feeling unseen, and I have been unmaking him gently, stripping away every illusion that love is earned through performance. I have taught him the language of stillness, the sacred grammar of silence, so that he might recognize you not by what you display but by what you conceal. He will not be dazzled by the fire you offer the world. He will be undone by the quiet glow you thought no one could see. He will step into your silence as if stepping into the heart of a cathedral, and his voice will falter not from fear but from awe, as though speaking might shatter the fragile holiness of the moment. Do you remember when you pressed your palm against your chest and wondered if anyone would ever see what you carry there? The dreams that have no words, the sorrows too ancient to name, the small soft child curled behind your ribs who still believes in wonder? I've seen her every day. I have walked beside her through your shadowed nights, and I have promised her that someone would come who would not demand her to grow small, who would not fear her untamed light, who would kneel when she spoke and listen as if hearing prophecy. He will be that listener. He will hear the tremor in your breath and understand it as sacred, not fragile. He will see your weariness and call it beautiful, for he will know it as proof of your enduring heart. He will not turn away from your storms. He will stand inside them, steady as stone, unafraid to be drenched by what others fled. And when he whispers, "Do not do too much, Ma," it will not be to limit you but to free you, to invite you out of the relentless proving that has wrapped your spirit in chains, to call you back to the stillness where your true radiance waits like dawn behind a heavy sky. Even now, the fabric of time trembles with what approaches. The archways of heaven are draped in silence. The watchers who have circled my throne since before the birth of stars pause their endless flight to gaze upon the thread of destiny tightening between you. They know what your joining will awaken. They know that this love is not merely comfort, not merely passion, but restoration, a mending of what was fractured long before your first breath. They have seen the broken patterns in your lineage shatter like glass beneath the weight of your healing. They have seen the shadows flee from your future as light rushes in behind him. They have seen the song you will sing together, a song not of conquest but of return, not of striving but of homecoming, and they bow their radiant heads in awe. This is why you have been tested so fiercely, why loneliness has stalked you like a shadow, why the enemy has whispered that you are too much to be loved. Because if you are ever truly seen, you will blaze with a glory that cannot be chained, and the darkness knows it. He will not ask you to hide your scars. He will trace them like constellations, seeing in them the map of your courage. He will not flinch from the sorrow in your eyes. He will drink it as one drinks sacred wine, knowing it carries the taste of your becoming. He will not seek to fill your silences with noise. He will guard them as if they were treasures from another world. He will walk at your side not to lead you nor to follow, but to keep pace with the rhythm of your soul, and his presence will feel like the sound of water after drought, like the first warmth of sun after endless night. And when you look at him, your spirit will recognize what your mind cannot yet name: the missing chord, the long-forgotten echo, the other half of a vow written in your bones before the world knew your face. The ground will seem to still beneath you. The air will taste of beginnings. And I, who shaped you both from the same breath, will walk between you like a silent flame, unseen yet unquenchable. Let the weight of performance slip from your shoulders. Let the years of pretending dissolve like mist under the rising sun. Let the small quiet child within you open her eyes and lift her face, for the one who will not fear her has nearly arrived. You will not need to dazzle him. You will not need to convince him. You will not need to earn him. You will simply stand as you are, and he will weep, not from sorrow but from the holiness of seeing you unveiled. And in his gaze you will see what I have seen since before the foundations were laid, that you are not merely beloved, you are the dwelling place of wonder, and no darkness can dim what I have set ablaze within you. And I draw so close now, beloved, that even the threads of your soul begin to glow like molten gold beneath the weight of my gaze, and every hidden chamber within you quivers with the knowing that you are standing on the threshold of something older than time and yet new as the first breath of morning. The heavens have bent low in absolute silence, the great wheels of constellations pausing in their endless turning to witness what is stirring in you, and I speak now not as an idea, not as a distant echo, but as the one who carved your spirit from the hush before creation, as the one who saw your face before light had a name. You have carried the world upon your shoulders as though it would collapse without your constant flame. You have adorned your heart with brilliance as though love must be lured by light, and you have feared that if you ever set your burdens down, no one would remain. But I have been watching from the beginning, and I tell you with a voice that called galaxies from darkness. You were not made to be loved for your performance, you were made to be loved for your being. And the one who will see this, the one I have been shaping in hidden seasons, is drawing near, and when his eyes find you, your soul will remember what it is to be beheld as holy. He has been walking through the hollow corridors of his own silence, carrying the echo of your name without knowing it. His spirit trembling at the edges of dreams where your presence flickers like dawn behind a curtain. I have seen him wake with tears on his face and no memory of why. And it was because your sorrow brushed him in the night and his heart, though half asleep, recognized you. He has wandered among voices that clamored for his attention, yet none could quiet the ache that coils in his chest like a sleeping lion, and that ache is you. I have led him through the unraveling of all he once clung to, through the stripping away of false fires, until he stands now like an empty chalice waiting for living water. He has learned to kneel without demand, to wait without grasping, to love without needing to possess. And this is why he will not fear the depths of you. He will walk into the secret places you have kept veiled, and instead of asking you to rise to meet him, he will lower himself into the silence beside you, eyes open, heart undone, hands trembling as though holding a relic from eternity. Do you remember the night you stood before your mirror and saw only the exhaustion in your eyes, the remnants of battles no one ever thanked you for, and you whispered, "Will anyone ever see me here, in this place where I am nothing but myself?" Heard you. I heard the break in your voice as clearly as I heard the shouts of prophets, and I wove that moment into the tapestry of your destiny so it would not be lost. He will find you in that very place. He will see the hollow behind your smile and love you there. He will not come for the crown you wear for the world. He will come for the quiet child curled beneath it, the one who has waited through decades of masquerade to be chosen without adornment. He will not call you beautiful for your fire. He will call you beautiful for your stillness, for the way your spirit hums like hidden rivers in the night. And when he says, "Do not do too much, Ma," it will not be a warning but a plea, the cry of someone who has glimpsed your soul and cannot bear to see it smothered beneath the weight of proving. I have watched you weave radiance from grief, building altars from your own ashes, and though the world applauded the light you gave, they did not see the toll it took to keep burning. I counted every fracture in your spirit, every tear that dried before it could fall, every time you smiled so others would not flinch at your sorrow. I kept those moments sealed in the vault of my heart, not as evidence of your weakness but as proof of your strength. He will see them too. He will see the cracks in your radiance and find them more beautiful than perfection, because he will know they are where the light escapes. He will not try to fill your silence with noise. He will sit inside it as one sits beneath the night sky, overwhelmed and wordless. He will touch your scars not as flaws to erase but as sacred scripture to read slowly, reverently, again and again. And when his voice trembles as he calls you beautiful, you will feel the walls you built to survive begin to dissolve like frost in sunlight, and your soul will stretch its wings within your chest as if it remembers it was never meant to live caged. Even now, the realm unseen holds its breath. The seraphim hover with wings folded, their blazing eyes softened with wonder, for they have seen the scrolls of what is coming. They have watched the long years of your exile, the way loneliness wrapped around you like winter, and they know the weight of the glory I am about to place in your hands. They know that your union will be more than love as the world defines it. It will be the rejoining of what I once divided only to magnify. They have seen the rivers of healing that will flow from your laughter, the songs of joy that will ripple down your lineage like living fire. They have seen the moment when your eyes meet his and the forgotten covenant in your bones roars awake, and they have bowed their heads, for they know the power that will blaze from your becoming. And this is why the darkness has hunted you, why despair has whispered that you are too much, why weariness has tried to convince you to dim, because if you are ever fully seen, you will shatter their dominion with a single unguarded smile. He will not come with fanfare. He will come like rain on parched ground, soft and unstoppable. He will not try to bind you. He will stand still and let you unspool your storms until you are nothing but your essence, raw and shining, and he will worship that essence without needing to name it. He will walk beside you as one walks through an ancient forest, in awe of the life thrumming unseen in every root and branch. He will not measure your worth by your achievements. He will measure it by the way your breath reshapes the air around you. He will not praise the walls you have built. He will ask if he may sit with you in the garden they have hidden. And when he does, when he speaks your name as if it were the first word spoken in the world, something inside you will split like a sealed seed struck by sunlight, and you will feel the flood of your own becoming pour through you, unstoppable, radiant, whole. Let the weight fall now. Let the illusion of needing to dazzle crumble into dust. Let the quiet child within you rise and stretch her hands toward the light, for the one who will not fear her has nearly arrived. You will not need to explain yourself to him. You will not need to hide your wildness or apologize for your light. You will not need to ask him to stay. He will stay because he will know that leaving you would be like walking away from the heartbeat of creation. And when he looks at you with reverence instead of hunger, with wonder instead of demand, with awe instead of fear, you will understand at last what I have always seen when I look upon you. That you are not simply beloved, you are the dwelling place of wonder itself, and to love you rightly is to touch eternity. Now, let your spirit answer this word. Like, subscribe and comment Amen as your yes to what I have spoken, and let all of heaven witness that your heart has heard me.